Welcome to Cornwall, a land of beautiful waterfalls, picture-perfect beaches, charming towns and plenty of delicious food to try. In this video, I will share with you guys the ultimate 3-day itinerary to explore everything that North Cornwall has to offer. We started off our first day at St Nectan's Glen. There is a large car park which costs £3 for all-day parking. From here, it takes about 25 minutes to reach the visitor centre. The path is clearly marked the whole way, and it was relatively easy, but it may be wet and a bit slippery if it rains, so make sure to wear suitable footwear. The majority of the walk is next to a beautiful river and through woodland. When you reach the top, there's a lot to do. There's a cafe where you can get coffee and baked goods, like cake and scones. There is also a nature trail, which is enjoyable for both children and adults. We walked around the nature trail for a while, and then we made our way back to the visitor centre to buy our tickets for the waterfall. Tickets are £10 each. The waterfall is open at specific times, so make sure to check the timings on their website. It's a short walk downhill to the waterfall, and when you reach it, you are met with stunning views. Make sure to take plenty of photos and spend some time here. You can also get closer to the waterfall from where you can really see the sheer force of it. When we returned to the visitor centre, we bought a traditional Cornish scone, cake and coffee to enjoy. All in all, we spent about 1.5 hours here. In the afternoon, we visited the small town of Boscastle. We parked our car in the car park and walked down by the river towards the sea. There are many cafes in this little town, including a National Trust one. The river is beautiful, and we really enjoyed walking by it. While you're here, be sure to visit the Museum of Witchcraft and Magic, which is open from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. We also decided to do a hike here, so we crossed the bridge over the river and began to follow the path through the rocks up to the cliff. As you continue to go up, you can see beautiful views of jagged cliffs. As it rained while we were there, the rocks were very slippery, so take care here. At the very top, there is a small lookout tower. It's very windy, so do be careful, but the views were worth it. We then descended down the hill parallel to Boscastle, and we saw stunning views of the village. We grabbed some pizza from a pizza truck called the Cornish Pizza Box, and we returned to our Airbnb to rest up for our next exciting day. Our first stop on day 2 was Tintagel, a small town home to Tintagel Castle. The car park we parked at was about a 15-minute walk to the entrance, but there are car parks that are closer that cost the same. There is a downhill walk from the ticket booth to the castle, and while you can buy tickets there, it's best to pre-book them to get the best price and avoid disappointment. The views start before you even enter the castle, as the walk to the bridge is very scenic. Before entering the castle, we walked a bit uphill to get a view of the bridge. When we went, the bridge was under construction and covered in scaffolding, but it was still pretty impressive. On the island, there is lots to explore and lots of history to learn. Ensure to stop by all the information signs to learn about the history of the castle. The castle was constructed between 1233 and 1240 and later fell into disrepair. The views are also stunning. We stopped by the statue of King Arthur, where there was a long queue to take photos. After exploring the castle, you can descend down steps to reach the mainland, and from here we saw the beach and cave where the wizard Merlin is believed to have resided. The tide was high, so we couldn't go into the cave yet, so we decided to take a pit stop at the cafe. We had the veggie pasty and the passion fruit and lime cake, and both were delicious. When the tide finally went out, we were able to go into Merlin Cave, which was very impressive and a good spot for photos. You can also spot a statue of Merlin on the rocks to the left of the cave. Soon after, we left Tintagel Castle and explored the village for a bit. We grabbed an ice cream as we walked around the picturesque town before we left for our next stop of the day. Our second spot of the day was Port Isaac, a small, cute seaside town about a 20-minute drive away. Our first stop in the village was Nicky B's pasty shop, which is a very famous spot to grab a traditional Cornish pasty. We sat for a bit on Port Isaac Beach, enjoying the view. There isn't really a lot to do in the village itself, but if you take the path to the left of the beach and climb up, you'll be able to get great views of the village. There is a labelled footpath that is really easy to follow. You don't need to go very far to see beautiful views of Port Isaac behind you. Before ending our second day in beautiful Cornwall, we grabbed a Cornish ice cream. We walked along the coast path on the edge of the town for a bit before we returned to our car and left this beautiful town. On day 3, we headed off to the Tulip Fest at Strawberry Fields, Lifton, which is southwest England's biggest tulip festival. This is a seasonal event, and it normally happens in mid-April. They run other events as well throughout the year, like Pumpkin Fest in the autumn, so it's worth checking if anything is on during your visit. There were over 250,000 tulips there, with over 40 varieties. The tulips were beautiful, and there are many photo opportunities here, so we would highly recommend this place. They also have a farm shop where you can buy their farm produce, as well as a cafe. After spending some time at the farm, our next stop was the Rough Tor and Brown Willy Walk. Brown Willy is the highest point in Cornwall, at 420 metres above sea level. From the car park, you can see Rough Tor, the other peak you will be summiting today. It is the third peak on the very right in this clip. The path is very easy to follow, and this walk is a very popular one, so there are always many people. Therefore, it's easy to stay en route. On the way to Brown Willy, you'll summit Little Rough Tor, and when you get to this peak, you will be able to see Brown Willy ahead of you. Here we even saw a paraglider. It doesn't take very long to reach the peak of Brown Willy, and from here you're met with stunning views. You can also see back towards where you came from, in the direction of Rough Tor. After descending Brown Willy, the path to the top of Rough Tor is easy to follow, and at the peak you can once again see beautiful views. From here, it's an easy downhill walk to the car park. When we reached the car park, We were just in time to see the paraglider from earlier land. So that brings us to the end of my very first vlog, and I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me. If you did, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.